Can we all just take a collective breath? On Wednesday, September 17th, as the final credits rolled on the series finale of The Summer I Turned Pretty, it felt like the entire internet exhaled at once. It was over. The end of an era that had completely and utterly consumed us for 3 glorious, heart-wrenching years. For anyone who somehow missed this cultural phenomenon, let me paint a picture. The show, based on Jenny Han's beloved books, revolves around the life of one Belly Conklin, the perfectly cast Lola Tongue. For as long as she can remember, Belly has been hopelessly in love with the broody, thoughtful, and impossibly handsome Conrad Fisher, Christopher Briney. He's a family friend, a summer house fixture, and the sun around which her world has always spun. But this isn't a simple love story. When Conrad's signals are more mixed than a forgotten playlist, Belly's eyes begin to open to someone who has been there all along, his younger brother, the sunny, golden retriever in human form, Jeremiah, Gavin Cosalegno. What unfolded over 3 seasons was more than just a show, it was an emotional rollercoaster, a deeply felt exploration of first love and first heartbreak, and one of the most compelling, frustrating, and addicting love triangles to ever grace our screens. Let me be crystal clear, I adored this show. It was appointment viewing. Wednesday nights became sacred, a ritual complete with popcorn, my beverage of choice, and a strict do not disturb sign on my life. It was a beautiful, nostalgic, coming-of-age drama that captured the dizzying highs and crushing lows of being young and in love. But as that final episode faded to black, the dominant feeling wasn't sadness. It was relief. A profound, soul-deep sense of peace. It wasn't just because the show gave us the ending we'd been hoping for, the one that felt earned and true to the story's heart. It was because the emotional labor of being a fan was finally over. I could get a piece of my life back. Think about it. No more navigating the treacherous waters of social media every Wednesday, desperately trying to dodge spoilers before I could watch. No more falling down late-night rabbit holes of fan theories, analyzing every frame for a hidden clue or an Easter egg that could predict the future. No more heated debates in group chats that could rival political discourse. As silly as it sounds, I was genuinely excited to reclaim that mental and emotional energy. That SIP hype had been a thrilling, all-consuming wave, and I was ready to just float in the calm waters for a while, turning my attention to other shows waiting patiently on my watch list. You can imagine my shock, my full body, jaw on the floor surprise, when, just as the dust was beginning to settle, the news broke. The Summer I Turned Pretty wasn't really over. A movie is coming. My immediate, unfiltered reaction? A groan. My brain started firing off questions in a panic. What else is there to say? Where else can this story possibly go? They gave us a perfect ending. Why are we dragging this out? It wasn't that I didn't want more of Belly and Conrad's epic love story. It was that I was exhausted by it. Utterly and completely spent. Let's be honest with ourselves. Deep down, most of us knew Belly and Conrad were the endgame. It was written in the stars, in the stolen glances, in the infinite-sized moments. But watching their journey stretch across 3 seasons, 3 years of our lives, and countless TikTok edits, think pieces, and Twitter threads. It was a marathon. We were tired of the will they won't they, tired of waiting week after week for an ending we felt was inevitable but still desperately needed to see for ourselves. And now, with a movie on the horizon, which creator Jenny Han has said won't be out for at least a year, that finish line I was so relieved to have crossed suddenly feels like it's been moved another few miles down the road. This is the level of emotional investment we're talking about. We, the fans, have scrutinized every single detail. Which brings me to a perfect, hilarious example of our collective obsession, Belly's dad. Remember in the final episodes when John Conklin, Colin Ferguson, was rummaging through Laurel's kitchen for Pepsid, complaining about a nasty case of heartburn. Instantly, the fandom's alarm bells went off. On television, a man of a certain age complaining about persistent heartburn is practically a flashing neon sign for an impending, dramatic heart attack. We held our breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop. But it never did. John survived the finale, heartburn seemingly forgotten, leaving us all to wonder if the show had just given us a heart attack for no reason. Thankfully, creator Jenny Han put our minds at ease. When asked about the potential medical emergency, she told Entertainment Weekly with a laugh, "No, not at all. The moment," she explained, had nothing to do with his physical heart, but everything to do with his emotional one. It was a moment to show a couple who had known each other a very long time who were giving it another try and kind of falling back into their old dynamics of low-key annoyance, Han clarified. The anecdote perfectly captures the world of TSIP. It's a universe so real, so grounded, that even a throwaway line about indigestion becomes a major plot point for its dedicated audience. And that realism, Han insists, is entirely by design. She's aware that many fans assume the show is full of product placement, especially after an AirTag became a key plot device. But the truth is simpler, she just wants the world to feel authentic. I really like living in a real world, a real universe, Han explained. I would never say, can you please pass me the heartburn medication? You would just say like, where's the Pepsid? Or, AirTags, like, that's just what she would have. That's why Belly eats Pop-Tarts, why they mention real stores, why the brands feel familiar. It's not a business deal, it's world building. It's what makes us feel like we could step into Cousins Beach ourselves. And maybe that's the silver lining to this whole movie announcement. The story feels so real because we've invested so much of ourselves in it. So, while the thought of gearing up for another round of theories and anticipation is daunting, there's comfort in knowing this movie will be, as Han confirmed, the final chapter. Yes, I'll be there. We all will be. We've come this far, after all. Closure is coming. Even if we have to wait just a little bit longer for it.